Hey guys, Luke here, back again for another video on the channel. Now this time I'm going to be talking about the New Zealand Warriors. Now I've been talking about them quite a bit. I feel like a lot of the topics I've been covering on the channel the last week or so have all been quite similar. Last time I was talking about the Warriors, I was talking about Blake Green leaving and the fact that Todd Payton had turned down Rollers coach full time. This time I'm going to be talking about them actually getting a full coach, or full-time coach, I should say. So Nathan Brown, former Knights coach, former Dragons coach, I think, was it Wigan or St. Helens? One of the Super League sort of big-name teams. He coached there as well. But he has signed on for 3 years, I believe, with the New Zealand Warriors. Personally, I think it's actually a pretty decent signing. I feel like this would be a big test for Nathan Brown. Now, I'm not going to say he's, at this point, a bit of a joke coach at the moment. But look, I personally don't think his night spell was good. I think a lot of people look at them and say, look, he rebuilt the club pretty well. He's not the worst coach or anything. But look, he put together a pretty good roster and he couldn't produce results. He had to deal with a lot of crap through the years. Like, you look at that night side when he took over compared to where he left. Definitely a big difference. He definitely did sign a lot of good players. He brought in the right players, but he couldn't get them to produce on the field. And everyone wants to talk about the Knights rebuild and how good it's been and all that sort of stuff. Yet they still have not made the 8 and they still look like they're not going to do it this year. Now, they've made a lot of signings, like I said, but it still hasn't got them results. I mean, they're not getting wooden spoon. They're not in contention for wooden spoon or anything. But is that what you deem a successful rebuild? I personally don't. So everyone's, been sitting there patting Nathan Brown on the back so far and saying what a good job he's done rebuilding it. Yet they haven't even made the 8 and they still haven't since he's left. So is that a successful rebuild? I wouldn't necessarily say so. It's just a bit better than what they were. Now, the Warriors, on the other hand, they've gone through some really, really shit coaches, to be honest. Stephen Kearney, I don't know why he got signed. He was shit with the Eels. He's shit with the Warriors. I don't know why he keeps getting gigs in terms of coaching. At least, the full-time head coach. Maybe an assistant. Apparently I don't know, I've heard this from a few, few people say it, but apparently some, head coaches, they're meant to be head coaches, assistants, not so much. Maybe a guy like Trent Barrett, he works well as an assistant. Jason Taylor, probably a good example. Apparently a pretty good assistant. When it comes to being a head coach, doesn't cut the mustard. And there's no shame in that. They're just hell-bent on being the head coach. I suppose it's more money, more accolades. I guess it makes sense, but maybe Nathan Brown, I don't know. Is he, or actually I was talking about Stephen Kearney, I should say. He's probably more an assistant coach. He's probably a good assistant coach. I think he's done pretty well in the past. But yeah, just in terms of head coach, wasn't the one, yet the Warriors were so hell-bent on getting him. They re-signed him, I'm pretty sure. It just made no sense to me, them signing him in the first place. I know he had played for the Warriors and he's a Kiwi and that, but just his track record isn't very good. And I'm looking at the Nathan Brown signing and there are some similarities in terms of, the results in the NRL haven't been there. Like I said, Nathan Brown has more of an excuse considering Stephen Kearney. The roster for the Warriors is not that bad. Look, it's not fantastic. It's definitely not fantastic, but it's not that bad. Not as bad as what they've produced on the field anyways, at times. Now, this season, a bit of a write-off. Obviously the circumstances with COVID, can't really help it. Players want to go back home, so they, injuries and also players just not available for, personal reasons and COVID reasons, that sort of stuff. It's definitely a bit of a shitty situation for the Warriors, but the effort is definitely there. This is not like the Knights a few years ago. The Knights, they were absolutely shithouse. They were getting towed up every week, 50, 60 points put on them. I think there was such a big celebration that game where they actually won a game. I remember there being a kick from the sideline. They actually won a game, and it was such a big deal, the fact that they won one game. Because I remember there being seasons where it looked like they weren't even going to win a single game. And also, I think if you look from those sides, probably there's a handful of people remaining from him. I think Sione Matauti, I think he might have debuted in that sort of era. I remember he was on the wing, fullback, wing, centre. I remember when Wayne Bennett was coaching him, he was just hyping up Matauti so much. And Matauti has finally found his home in the second row. Obviously hasn't turned out to be anywhere near as good as what they were hyping him up to be, which is a disappointment for the Knights, but he's still pretty young, I guess. But in terms of the others, I think maybe Lachlan Fitzgibbon's the only other one who sort of hung around for the most part. Maybe a few players here and there, but that's the only ones I can think off the top of my head who remain there. And also like the Safidi twins and those sort of guys. But apart from that, not many players have remained. Whereas the Warriors, I look at their roster and you can say, you know what, to Sashek, absolute superstar. Won the Dally M a couple of years ago. He's not a problem. Their wingers, Mamalo, Fusatua, probably the best back three in the whole comp. Center's probably a bit of a weak point. Halves, you'd say, is pretty weak at the moment. Hooker, very weak. But the 4-pack isn't even that bad either. You've got Tohu Harris, you've got some youngsters. It's just that they do need to clear out a little bit of the deadwood, but by no means is this anywhere near the Knights. The Warriors are definitely salvageable. So with a good coach, and also the fact that Phil Gould has signed on to be a consultant, I believe is what they've listed him as. So he's going to be consulting Nathan Brown as well as the Warriors. So I think that actually will work well for the Warriors. Nathan Brown, did he get lucky with some signings? Probably, but he would have played some part in it. So he definitely can build a team somewhat. Is it some superstar Rooster style team? No, but is it a team that's going to be better than the one that the Warriors are producing right now? Probably. So I suppose that in a sense that is a good move. And also I think you add in Phil Gould, I think that will help a lot. The 5-year plan stuff with the Panthers, it is a bit of a meme at this point. It is something that we all love to laugh about. I was laughing at it at the time, and even years later, the Panthers still haven't won the premiership. They actually look on track now, and it's been a few years since Phil Gould's been with them, but he definitely got them on the right track, I would say, and created a lot of good PR for them. Got their name around a lot more. I feel like the Panthers are a lot more popular now than what they were before Phil Gould, and they definitely play a lot better style. So overall, I feel like Phil Gould was a good influence on the Panthers club. Like I said, at times it's a bit of a joke, but I mean, there is something happening there. I mean, you look at all their juniors and reserve grade and stuff, they were constantly winning it and winning it quite easily. So he was laying the foundation. Obviously, when it happens like that, all your juniors, they're not always going to go on to become absolute superstars. Guys like Bryce Cartwright looked really, really good in the juniors, didn't really cut the mustard in first grade in terms of what they thought they were going to be anyways. But yeah, I feel like the Panthers had a big high turnover rate. But if he can do that with the Panthers, imagine what he can do with the Warriors, with all of their youngsters who would come through. Maybe might be able to poach some guys from rugby union when they're young. Just get their junior system on, because I feel like the Warriors, they have a whole country to pick from. Obviously, a lot of them want to play rugby union, but not every kid's going to be able to make it to the All Blacks. So maybe they look at rugby league and go, hey, that's a little bit more attainable. We'll go there, and you might unearth a bit of a gem. So, like a guy like Sean Johnson, he's a guy who grew up. I was listening to the Chad Townsend podcast. Sean Johnson was saying he grew up, he never wanted to play for the All Blacks. Maybe he would play the Sevens, but he didn't grow up playing rugby union. So there definitely are some youngsters out there who don't dream of playing for the All Blacks. They're not all like Caleb Ponga and stuff who go, oh yeah, I'd love to play for the All Blacks, but I'm kind of playing rugby league now. But in the future, I want to play for All Blacks. So yeah, they're not all Caleb Pongas and Sonny Bills. Definitely are some kids who want to come through and play rugby league and probably play for the Warriors. So it's up to Phil Gould, Nathan Brown to find some of those players and develop them, and also make some smart signings, because some of their signings have been abysmal. Guys like Adam Blair, there's just no way he was ever going to be a good signing. And even just in terms of retention, like the Sean Johnson stuff, I still I don't understand getting rid of Sean Johnson to bring in Nicarima, because it was pretty much a swap deal. Not in the sense that Nicarima came from the Sharks, but they got rid of Johnson, and a couple of months later brought Nicarima, and all Nicarima is kind of like a poor man Sean Johnson. So it just doesn't make sense to me. And also the money on Nicarima as well was pretty similar from what I can gather to Sean Johnson anyway. So it's not like they gained so much cap space or anything. So yeah, I don't know what's to go with the Warriors at the moment, but going into the future, it looks like they're on the right track. Nathan Brown, I think he'll do a decent job for them, at least a better job than what they've got at the moment. And Todd Payton, unlucky man, on live TV, you turn them down, so hey, you better hope you get the Cowboys job or have another job lined up, because that's a big opportunity missed. At least if you're going to turn down the Warriors, at least make sure you get the other job lined up, which I don't think he has, because they're apparently talking to a whole bunch of other coaches, other Cowboys. So we'll see how Todd Payton goes. I think he's going to coach him for the rest of the year. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm assuming so. And Nathan Brown starts next year, but I don't know. I think it's exciting times for Warriors fans. I would be excited. Phil Gould, Nathan Brown. Look, it can go wrong, but I don't think it will go wrong. So leave in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on Nathan Brown signing with the Warriors and Phil Gould signing with the Warriors? I mean, I think the Phil Gould stuff is not officially announced. I think they said Saturday it could be announced. But, I mean, at the moment, at least the Nathan Brown news is good news. And the Phil Gould stuff, if it happens, it happens, and that's also good news. More good news for the Warriors. I know a lot of Warriors fans think I hate them on this channel. I don't really know why, but hey, look, I'm saying some good things about the Warriors. It's just, in the past, hasn't really been that much good stuff to say about the Warriors because they haven't really been doing too much in the comp. So, yeah, anyways, like I said, in the comment section below, do you think this is a good move for the Warriors? If not, let me know why. I'd love to have a bit of a discussion in the comment section. Also, while you're at it, you may as well go ahead and give a like on the video if you happen to enjoy it. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. Turn off on the notifications. I believe that's important. Lets you know when I'm uploading. Apparently, subscriptions aren't that good on YouTube anymore. So do that as well. Also, follow me on social media. It's on the screen right now. My Snapchat is also the same as what's on the screen, Mr. Luke YT. Facebook's in the description below as well if you just want to do that. Or search up Mr. Luke. Either way, just follow me on something. Anyway, guys, I'll wrap up the video now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.